Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're jumping down into the charts for Harmony One, taking a look at this recent price action and what I think might actually be happening next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And of course, if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, the link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check that out today. You'll also find links to our new Cheeky podcast in the description down below, a fantastic way to stay up to date with everything crypto on your commute to the office. Why not check that one out as well? And of course, finally, the Patreon services are also in the description down below. We offer here a lot more for our Discord members via Patreon, everything from what we are doing in terms of our movements, our buying, our selling, our staking, as well as trading, project reviews, and twice weekly AMAs, as well as a host of additional benefits. Why not check those out if that's your bag? Okay, let's waste no more time though. Let's jump into this. Right here we have Harmony One paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Binance is the data source, and we have actually, first of all, I'm gonna hands up, I got something wrong in yesterday's video, so a brief update here is actually really important. So I was thinking that this was going to be a double top scenario and then we were going to pull back down into a third wave, when actually what's gone on here is actually a really complicated and complex fourth wave move known as an expanding flat correction. This is normally a 3-3-5 structure, and I still think we've got more room to the upside to complete this last part, which is the 5-wave move. So we haven't actually started our 5th wave move to the downside just yet, and obviously it's at the bottom here that we're going to see that 240% move upwards, which will be our big wave 4. So if I jump this up into our 4-hourly chart here for a second, we speculate that we have this wave 4 move up towards 4.4 cent from these low ranges. Okay, so knowing that Harmony One here has quite a bit of work to do, let's go ahead and map out what I think has actually gone on here, okay, and we can correct some of these structures, okay, because the 4th wave's still going up higher. It hasn't finished just yet, which means our 5th wave hasn't started, okay, so the higher the 4th wave goes, the lower the 5th wave goes, and we'll be able to give some estimates on where we estimate that final 5th wave to go. Now, this is the 5th wave of a 5th wave of a 5th wave of a wave 3. Okay, there's lots of different degrees here, so this is the hourly chart, this is the micro movements, and as we build up we get different degrees of wave counts. Now if that doesn't make sense to you, join us in Discord. We've got Elliott wave theory material that you can read, so you can understand it in a little bit more detail, but essentially I'm going to map out this wave 4. Okay, it's a corrective pattern, it's called an expanding flat. These things don't actually appear all that often, but when they do, they can catch you out a little bit, as they caught me out yesterday. So apologies on thinking that we're going to have a double top here when actually we're having an expanding flat, so that's on me. So here we have this A wave up here, this B wave coming down here, and a C wave coming up. Basically an expanding flat. We see the B wave come lower than origin. Okay, so straight away you can kind of be put off of here because it's not usual, we don't normally see this, and then the C wave comes up higher than the A wave high, so it becomes expanding. This also has many other names, common names outside of Elliott wave theory. A megaphone pattern, for example, where you see this expansion. If I just draw 2 trend lines on here, you kind of see an expansion like this. It's an expanding triangular wedge. It has loads of different names, right? But essentially, within our structure of where we are right now, which is a 4th wave, it has to be a corrective pattern. A corrective pattern within wave 4, which is complex in its nature, is basically an expanding flat that we're witnessing. Now, in order for this to really map out, and an expanding flat has to be a 3-3-5. So we can see here we have the subwave count of 3 waves inside our little A wave. We have a 3-wave move just inside here, which also actually looks like we've got an Elliott wave triangle in the B. So we can see that right inside here with this contracting triangle pattern right in here. Okay, so we can see that right there. So again, a 3-wave drop. And these triangles, they only appear in wave 4s or wave Bs. Okay, so we know that that's a 3-wave move to the downside here. And now we're tracking a 5-wave move to the upside, which is basically 1, 2, this being 3, this being 4, and we're having that 5th wave still to come up higher. Okay, now looking at the stochastic RSI, we have got completely oversold here. So we're hoping that we stay above this area of 1.754 in order to make sure we don't invalidate this structure. Otherwise, potentially this 5-wave structure becomes an ending diagonal. Still possible, but it would be very unusual that you would have an expanding flat ending with an ending diagonal, but it is possible, so we shouldn't rule it out. It should still be a 5-wave structure with a slight slightly higher push to the upside. In a nice neat way though, we want it to stay above 1.754, and then we want to push it up. So if we take a look at our position here and we were to just run this here, we could say that there's a short-term push potentially higher up towards these ranges between 1.966 and 2.030. Okay, so that's going to be the area that we're really going to focus in on this next surge to the upside for Harmony 1. Okay, so essentially that means that our fourth wave might end just here. Now that's the typical area, right? There's no guarantee that it stops there, but typically a fifth wave ends somewhere between 1.236 and 1.618 of the fourth wave. Now that's really important because obviously we're trying to track this fifth wave to the downside for accumulation. Now for that fifth wave to kind of come in, let me just remove the stochastic, we have to know where our fourth wave is, right? So if we are to take this higher end as an estimate, we can kind of give ourselves a bit of an estimated low point, okay? So if all of our wave 4, we're going to take it from this lowest possible point, and then we're going to take it up to this high point here, okay? So this is basically 2.030, okay? Then, of course, our fifth wave should be somewhere down in this range, and I can go ahead and just estimate this within our 1.236 and our 1.618. Our target becomes 1.444. Okay, down to 1.565. Okay, so those are the kind of the low accumulation zones that Harmony 1 is kind of indicating to us right now. Okay, but of course this is subject to change depending on where that fourth wave up here actually goes, which is basically that fifth wave. Okay, if that fifth wave changes, then of course our lows are going to change as well. Okay, so I'm just going to estimate these to be somewhere in here, basically 1.966 on the lower side of the scale, and on the higher side we should be 2030. Okay, so if I remove this, we can now see that we're typically within our wave 4 retracement. That's what this yellow box represents. This is a typical wave 4 retracement, okay, of our entire move. Wave 1 and invalidation of any further downside comes in here at 2.314. Okay, so this is our typical retracement zone, and we are right inside there with that fifth wave on the higher side of that scale. The whole entire thing is an ABC structure, which it consists of a 3-3-5 structure, and you can see the 3, the 3, and the 5 wave map there. Okay, so all of that is our complex wave 4, and once that is done, I would expect to see a 5 wave drop coming in and taking us down into our lower range down here to complete our entire structure. Okay, this basically would then become our ending position of our fifth wave. Okay, so we'd have 5 waves inside our fifth wave. So eventually, when we're down in this box, will be the fifth wave of the fifth wave of the fifth wave of a fifth wave of a third wave. Okay, so you can see how we're getting all these different degrees and we're working our way through it. Essentially, this is the point where we want to be really considering accumulation and all of that kind of good stuff. So anywhere really between 1.444 and 1.565, that's going to be the area for potentially the maximum amount of upward potential that you're going to have, right? So when we start thinking about dropping down into this low range of maybe like 1.444, and then moving on up into the 4.4 cent range, we are talking about 204% now. So yesterday when I mapped that, I think it was about 1.3 that I was estimating based on the structures. Now it's a little bit lower, about 200%. Okay, so again, we're not really down here until later. So once we have this fourth wave high, as long as we do hit the 4.4, which is just a typical area at the moment, that could change. It could only be 120% push up higher. We don't know where this is going to go. It could be a little bit higher. Okay, but we do know it's going to be somewhere around this area. Okay, so 200% is a typical kind of zone that we estimate it to go to, 4.409. It could of course change. It could be lower, it could be higher. Okay, once it is done though, there will be a good accumulation zone, potentially lower than 1 cent here for Harmony 1, completing that fifth wave. It is possible, of course, that we don't actually drop back down and this is the bottom of the market. Okay, so we can speculate that there's still this move to the downside, as you can kind of see all of these kind of moves, but it's possible that we invalidate that as well. Okay, so depending on this traction to the upside, depending on the patterns that start to form here, it'll be really important that we analyze where we are when we start to see an overbought area, and whether or not that actually is in line with a fourth wave corrective move, and then this big macro move to the downside still to come. Okay, so we are talking about some kind of short-term push to the upside. Okay, it will come once we actually have this low point. So we're looking for another crash to the downside, just finish this off. Okay, and then we'll be looking at pushing up. Again, this is still counter to the trend, so we are still going up against the trend, but it should be pretty significant. About 200% is an estimate, but I would think that we should be at least 100%. I would have thought, from that downside move to the upside move. And then, of course, looking for the further crash to the downside for more accumulation. So some fantastic opportunities here for Harmony One. Regardless of what you feel about the protocol, from a technology point of view, from many different things. I know Chris has spoken about it as well on the videos, from delegating and staking and all the kind of things that are going on there, and decisions that are being made and all that kind of stuff. But there's still potential room to the upside here. There's fantastic gains to be made with Harmony One, regardless of the fundamental side. Just from a technical side, everything here is looking pretty good. So we're looking for a small push upwards, nothing too major. If we just take the current price, we're probably talking about 10%, and then of course we're talking about a drop from the up here somewhere down to these low ranges of about 25%, and then we're looking for a surge anywhere really between 100 and 200% push to the upside. Guys, I'm going to leave this video right there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.